in the African soil. Arise, arise, great Union. We shall arise and stand and take our place in the place of cultured men and women blessed with wisdom's best of each land, and leave behind traditions for generations to come. Arise, arise, great Union. Arise, 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 and shine forth, great
of the banking industry, so you're welcome. Your real fathers, you're recognized. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a special recognition to the immediate past librarian of the University of Uyo, Professor Mrs. Felicia Iton. Madam, you are recognized.
Immediately following graduates of the Faculty of Science are graduates of the School of Continuing Education. Graduates of the School of Continuing Education are to process next after the Faculty of Science. And perhaps those who didn't process in their right faculty were just coming in behind Faculty of Science.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the rhythm has changed, and I think that the pace will be faster. But let me have the honor of recognizing one who's been a chairman of a local government council, who's been a state officer of a top political party, and currently a member of the National Assembly, provides the House of Representatives. And very interestingly, he's been inclined to the University of Uyo. The husband is one of those graduating today at the PhD level. And I'd like to know that she's got children here at that high level also. Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Mrs. Owedige Ibe Eprotai, Madam, you are recognized. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, entering the arena would be a very strong contingent from the Kano Jigawa axis of Nigeria. I have seen the presence of a former minister and a former governor of Jigawa State, His Excellency Alhaji Sule Lamido. Mr. Jacob Isenile, the Registrar and Secretary to Council, University of Uyo, partners of this convocation. We want to say to all and sundry, thank you and welcome. I will trust that the hospitality of Uyo will rub off positively on you. Minister of Foreign Affairs, former Governor of Jigawa State, a frontline politician in Nigeria, His Excellency Alhaji Sule Lamiru. An officer of the Order of the Federal Republic, Alhaji Dr. Mohamedou Jimmy, one of those to be regarded today at the instance of Honorary Degrees Council. Sir, you are welcome.
Snap on it.
Of the banking industry, sir, you are welcome. By your royal fathers, you are recognized. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a special recognition to immediate past librarian of the University of Rio, Professor Mrs. Felicia Item. Madam, you are recognized. Educational and Technology. Committee of Deans, the Provost of the College of Health Sciences. Dean of Clinical Sciences, Dr. Mayoro, Dean of Pharmacy, former DVC Academic, Professor Namponapan, and Provost College of Health Sciences, Professor Augustine Bruno. Council Procession, members of Council, Professor Idara Pablo, Dr. Emmanuel Ati, Dr. Mr. Pablo, representative of Convocation, Professor Reverend Obor, representative of the Alumni Association, and Dean Postgraduate School, Professor Lawrence Ism, and the half Professor Kingsley Pablo, and leading the Special University Guest Procession, Professor Matthew, Provost College of Education and Finance. Ladies and gentlemen, the Chancellor's procession, led by the University Librarian Professor Mrs. Ahama Ibrahim, followed by the Professor Mr. Jacob Isanaye, the Registrar Secretary to Council, Mr. Yuri Asudofra, Deputy Chancellor Academy, Professor Mr. Ibrahim, Deputy Chancellor Administration, the Convocation lecturer of this degree, Primary Vice-Chancellor of the National Open University of Nigeria, Professor Honorary Secretary, and then the Chancellor of the University, the Co-Chancellor of the University of Rome, Professor Austin Arujo. Ladies and gentlemen, the main player, Fonabia, receiving the Vice-Chancellor, the learning self, Professor Nathan Nielsen, and then the Chancellor of the University of Rio, Alaji Dr. Honorary, Commander of the Order of the Niger, PSP, Emir of Adeja, and Chairman Jigawan State Council of Chiefs. Guys, you are welcome. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Chairman of Convocation and the Chancellor of the University of Rio, by put us on cue to the item on series of anthems. His Excellency the Deputy Governor of the Private State representing the Honorary is a most honorable member of the Federal Republic. May we be standing as we take to the national anthem. The national anthem, please. Remain standing as we take to the University of Rio anthem, please. Thank you very much, Your Excellency and Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. May we take our seats. As I have the honor of inviting my Lord, the Bishop, Church of Nigeria, Anglican Communion, the Bishop of your Diocese, my Lord Bishop Prince Antai, to step forward for the opening prayers. Bishop Antai, please.
Please, may we stand to our feet and say, what is it? The opening prayer.
Okay. Copy.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Right,
Father, we thank you. We give you the glory. We bring to you hearty praise for the gift of life, for the gift of today. the opportunity and the privileges which today has offered under you. I want to say thank you so very much in the name of Jesus Christ. Thank you for the University of Uyo, the students, the faculty, the parents, and all who have worked together to make our gathering today possible. We thank you for members of the Governing Council. Lord, we want to say on your behalf, thank you so very much. We are here gathered and you brought us safely. I pray that you, oh God, that you grace this gathering with your presence, that everybody seated here under your presence, at the close of ceremony, will go back with gratitude and thanks to you. Lord, as we proceed, take absolute control, that all glory and honor, which belongs to you, may continue to be given to you. So we cover this arena with the blood of Jesus Christ. We ask that you take control again and again. We pray as we begin this ceremony in your name, through our Lord Jesus Christ.
My Lord, the Chancellor of the University of Uyo and Chairman of Convocation, Your Excellency and Your Excellencies, my Lord and my Lords, the intellects and visiting friends of the University of Uyo, administrators, the graduates, students of our university. The convocation actually begins. I have the honor of inviting the Registrar and Secretary of Council, Mr. Registrar, sir.
The University of Uyo law empowers the University of Uyo to grant degrees and other distinctions, as well as to award prizes and other titles. It also provides that the Chancellor shall preside at all meetings of convocation held for the purpose of conferring degrees. May I therefore respectfully invite the Chancellor, His Royal Highness Alhaji Dr. Abubakar Adamu Maje, CON, DPSD, to constitute this assembly as a convocation of the University of Uyo for the purpose of conferring degrees and awarding diplomas, certificates, and prizes.
Members of the Council, Senate, Chiefs, Constitution, guests, ladies and gentlemen, by the authority vested in me by the University of Uyo, and the University of Uyo, I hereby declare this assembly instituted as the combined 22nd and 23rd competition of the University of Uyo.
This is going on. Tell me it's happening. It's off. This is off. It's gone already.
Your Excellencies, Honorable Ministers and Commissioners, my Lords, spiritual and temporal, Your Highnesses, members of the Governing Council and Senate, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor most respectfully to invite the Chancellor, His Royal Highness Alhaji Dr. Abubakar Adamu Maje, CON, DPSD, to address the convocation. Chancellor, sir.
Governor, Python, State, Aircon, Udom, Honorable Ministers, Honorable Minister of Education, Alam Ademadimu, and other ministers here present. Deputy Governor, Python State, Mr. Moses, and other deputy governors here present. Members, National Assembly, State Legislatures, Your Excellencies, Governor of the North, Governor of Bombay, Your Excellency, former Governor of our state, Your Excellencies, former Deputy Governors, here present, the Assistant Inspector of Police, 6 Commander, Police, Python State, Electoral Process, Commander,
Commander 6 Motorized Brigade Ibaba, my father, His Royal Highness the Emir of Kano, members of the Philanthropic, His Lordship Chief, the Chief Judge of Upper Ibom State and other judges here present, the Executive Secretary of the National University Commission, Professor Abubakar Adamu Rashid Yamenai Yam Afar, the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman Governing Council, University of Uyo, Professor Austin Aujo, the Vice-Chancellor, University of Uyo, members of the University of Uyo Governing Council, former Pro-Chancellors and former Council members here present, former Vice-Chancellors and Registrars of Universities of Uyo, visiting Vice-Chancellors and Registrars here present, Deputy Vice-Chancellors and other principal officers here present, members of Senate and the Congregation of Uyo, distinguished honorary graduates, my lords, spiritual and temporal, honorable members, House of Assembly, present, Chairman, Adese Council, here present, representative of corporate organizations, here present, my dear host communities, my dear staff and students of University of Uyo, members of the 22nd and 23rd Convocation Planning Committee, University of Uyo, members of the press, my friends, well-wishers, my dear graduates and parents, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I bring you warm felicitations from my family and the people of Hadith Emirate in Jigawa State. It is always my delight when an occasion such as this brings me back to Akwa State, a place I was privileged to transfer through in my educational pursuit.
Which of the camera 1 or camera 2?
Such visit usually gives me excitement, endearment, and pleasant recollections. Some years ago, I was here during the 19th and 20th convocation ceremonies and my official installation as the Chancellor of this great university. It is therefore my delight to welcome you to this year's convocation ceremony, which covers the 22nd and 23rd batch of graduates. This year's convocation is special in that this is the first convocation ceremony organized by Professor Inofio Essien, our Honorable Vice-Chancellor. Another unique feature is the fact that the new governing council led by Professor Augustine Awujo will also attend a convocation of this great university for the first time in that capacity. It is very proper for me to use this opportunity to welcome the governing council on board the affairs of the university and to judge them to use this executive proxy for the visitor for the advantage of the University of Uyo. Let me also congratulate the Vice-Chancellor for being acquitted by the federal government against him and his Vice-Chancellor appointment. I also congratulate him on his conferment of the rank of Senior Advocate of Nigeria. With this, I would charge the Vice-Chancellor to settle down and prove his critics wrong with the marking of landmark achievements in his 5-year tenure. Congratulations, Mr. Vice President, for a very impressive first accreditation reports. The realities about economic fortunes of nations globally and our country in particular had since informed universities to veer towards entrepreneurship in curricular studies, as that is what our nation needs for industrialization and self-actualization. I hope the University of Uyo has been in the forefront of this new emphasis to equip today's graduates with the know-how for self-empowerment rather than go out to roam about for gainful employment from non-existent outlets. Let me appreciate the sheer manifestation of goodwill, patriotism, and high regards of the academic staff union of universities in their recent suspension of national strike against, while only a promise was given to them since government accepted to meet their demands. Same goes to other unions for their collaboration to give the system leads for a smooth calendar to be run. The gesture restored normalcy to this university without much loss of ground. Thank you, university unions. Keep up your industrial harmony for the ambitious peace and development of the university. Duty calls on me also to appreciate the cooperation enjoined between the university and its host communities. Let me assure the host communities that the university shall not withhold its gown and town programs, expressible in the provision of academic services, employment opportunities, and admission of students, among others. While structures for the positive liaison are sustained and encouraged, I would encourage the Upper Ibom State government, host communities, the university, to facilitate the completion of processes that should allow for the recovery of the entire university land and legally bring an immediate end to the protracted cases of university land encroachment. Please permit me to shift my spotlight on our graduates, on whose accounts today ceremony is constituted. While congratulating you for the success completion of your programs against a very high casualty rate of students whom you did not necessarily work harder than, the challenges becoming on you to step up against them are numerous. You must be determined to circumspect, strategic, risk-taking, and even adventurous to distinguish yourselves from the crowd of so-called unemployable graduates. You must yourself be determined to circumspect, strategic, risk-taking, and even adventurous to distinguish yourselves from the crowd of so-called unemployable graduates. Avail yourselves of the entrepreneurial skills expanded to you, and you get yourselves what to do. I commend your parents, guardians, and sponsors for their tenacity in pressing against all odds to see your glory today. May the Almighty bless your endeavors to allow your special sponsors enjoy your requisite respite. Inclusive in the climax of this ceremony are few notable persons who will be presented with honorary degrees for their contributions to the development of humanity and society. I happily congratulate you for your deserved nominations. Welcome to the very esteemed alumni of the great Tuskers Republic. You must, from now, alongside the regular students, the regular graduates, uphold and project the good name and image of this great university wherever you may be. I charge you to join the front line in investing in the development of the university. Particularly, I thank the host communities and the landlord of the University of Uyo for allowing the university to be sited in their land. I plead for continued cooperation and peaceful coexistence, since the university needs peace and harmony to continue to exist and expand. The benefits that host communities derive from the existence of the university in their community cannot be enumerated. Let me not forget to appreciate all those who have contributed towards the growth and development of our great university. All the stakeholders, including the Governing Council, the Vice-Chancellor and his management team, the Senate, the unions, staff and students, the host communities, state and federal governments are highly appreciated. We all must continue to work proactively in cooperation. May you all continue to sue for peace and the profound desire of having an unbroken crisis-free university. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for coming and for your attention. May God take you back to your destination safely.
Chancellor and Chairman of the Governing Council, Professor Austin C. Awoju, to address convocation.
Your Excellency, the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and visitor to the University of Uyo, His Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, ably represented by the Honorable Minister of State for Education, Professor A.J. Awonga, here present, members of the National Assembly, state legislators, state executive councils, the Chancellor of the University of Uyo and Chairman of Convocation, Alhaji Maje Adamu Abubakar, the Emir of Hadija, the Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II, the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Nyefok Essie, Sir, and the Deputy Vice-Chancellors, Vice-Chancellors of other universities here present, members of council, principal officers, and senate members of the University of Uyo, representative of sister universities, royal fathers here present, my lords spiritual and temporal, dear graduates, great Nigerian students. It is with utmost delight and profound gratitude to Almighty God that I welcome you all on behalf of the Governing Council to the combined 22nd and 23rd convocation of the University of Uyo. I thank God that the convocation, which had to be moved from last year, is taking place today. And you are all here to witness it. I feel very privileged to welcome our guests, especially our esteemed visitor to the university, who is ably represented by the Honorable Minister of State, Professor A.G. Awonga. I congratulate our graduates, who are the chief celebrants of today. Their hard work through the past years is justified by the joy of the day. The entire university community, other stakeholders are also warmly welcome. I thank them very heartily for their support in the sensitive task of molding our youth and future leaders. Now we have to look at the university and growth and development. The present administration has consolidated on the massive and previous development in our campus. More buildings have sprung up in the main campus, including the 1,000-seater lecture theatre. We are pursuing a zero tolerance for abandoned projects.
The main campus drive into the university has been constructed, and a 500-bed space hostel is near completion. In terms of staff development, the university has effectively made use of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund to sponsor many members of staff on staff development at home and abroad, while attendance at overseas and local conferences has increased by leaps and bounds. The university has also hosted many national and international conferences within this period. I would like to express my profound appreciation to Ted Fund, whose chairman is here, and the federal government for the recent injection of funds into the university. This has been a needed tonic for university education, and we at the University of Uyo are very grateful. The reduction of federal government grant to universities would have been a call in our wheel of progress if the situation had not been so well managed by the university management, though it has slowed many things. We have learned to be creative and to look for other ways of generating income. We are looking forward to improvement in our finances. The university has continued to make its marks nationally and internationally in the areas of affiliation and collaborative research. The accreditation exercise which took place in May 2017 is another success story. The new governing council maintains a cordial relationship with the university management, a situation which places management in a vantage position that attracts and obtains council needed support and prompt attention to matters of university development and staff welfare. The present council is poised to continue the struggle to finally ensure that the law established in the university, having been finally signed into law by the president, is appropriately dated. I wish to especially appreciate Ted Front once again for the recent approval of a high-impact special grant to the university, which will help embark on more development projects, especially at the new main campus, in order to accommodate more faculties from the town campus and for more approval for academic training and conferences. We have made outstanding achievements. We recall that in spite of recent arguments in this quest for academic excellence, it was the University of Uyo that started this post-UME screening in this country. Other universities have seen borrow the lead from us, and they have become a norm throughout the country, which has salutary effects of improving the quality of university education in Nigeria. The present administration has continued with and improved on this practice. The university now conducts aptitude and selection tests for banks and other establishments. In the meantime, the present administration has further strengthened this process by exercising direct control of the screening processes and even extends it to direct entry and remedial application. This has helped immensely to control the quality of our intakes and by implication reduce the incidence of examination misconduct in the university. The University of Uyo has zero tolerance for corruption in the system. Any member of the committee, whether staff or student, who is found to indulge in fraud, immorality, or courtesy is promptly shown the way out. The governing council will continue this practice and will not hesitate to endorse panel report that makes such recommendations, provided such recommendations are considered fair. We can proudly say that our staff members are among the most disciplined and committed in the field. The University of Uyo has gone digital in the last few years, especially donation of computers and the provision of internet facilities, both in the town campus and the main campus by individuals and corporate organizations. Registration and the checking of results by students are now done online. This has been made possible by the introduction of the new automated results platform, which enables the heads of department and examination officers to key in their results directly on the one hand and to enjoy and improve interactive and user-friendly website on the other. Staff members now have internet facilities in their offices. This has been enhanced by the membership of the Nigerian Research and Education Network, which has greatly improved our success to palm-wave computerization provided by this network. This has greatly enhanced academic life in the university through enhanced video conferencing capabilities. The computer-based test is also done both for the joint admission and matriculation JAM and other agencies. Your Excellencies, respected ladies and gentlemen, we are not in any way attempting to blow a trumpet. Rather, we are modestly trying to tell you what we have done with the mandate and responsibility entrusted to us. We are trying to say that in spite of drawbacks like the student rampage of June 2013, which was caused likely by lack of funds to provide the necessary facilities, the University of Uyo can still hold up her head in the gathering of universities. Our students are winning prizes, accolades, and scholarship, nationally and internationally. We have recorded more Fulbright scholarships recently in the departments of anatomy and biochemistry. In a recent internet rating by Google, the University of Uyo was placed before many first-generation universities in this country. On behalf of the Governing Council of the University, I thank our parents and our stakeholders for your continuous support to the university, both morally and financially. Once again, I wish to heartily congratulate our graduates on their successes. You are now worthy ambassadors of the University of Uyo. Remember to represent her well at all times. Do not forget to join the university's alumni association, wherever you are located, which is now well positioned as a variable tool to promote the university, particularly in fundraising activities. When you excel in your choosing career, come back to help your alma mater. For posterity, there's always joy in giving back. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you for honoring our invitation. May God bless you and grant you journey mercy back home. Thank you very much.
Honorable Visitor, Mr. Chancellor, Sir, Your Excellencies, my Lords, spiritual and temporal, Your Highnesses, Honorable Ministers and Commissioners, members of the Governing Council and Senate, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I now call upon the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Enefio Efiong Essien, SAN, to address the convocation. Vice-Chancellor, sir.
Excellency, the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and Visitor to the University of Uyo, Muhammadu Buhari, G. Silva, here represented by the Minister of State for Education, the Chancellor of the University of Uyo and the Emir of Adeja, His Royal Highness Alhaji Abubakar Adamu Maje, CON, Your Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Kingdom Emmanuel, here represented by his deputy, Mr. Moses Eko. Your Excellencies, the governors of other states, particularly the governors of Borno and Gombe states who are here, the Honorary Minister of Education of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Malam Adamu, were here represented by the Minister of State for Education, the Inspector General of Police of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Chief Moses Eko, members of the National Assembly and State House of Assembly here present, His Lordship, the Chief Judge of Akwa Ibom State, judges here present, Your Excellencies, former governors of Akwa Ibom State, and former governors of other states here present, members of Akwa Ibom State Executive Council, and of the Executive Council of other states here present, the Assistant Inspector General of Police, Zone 6 Command, the Commissioner of Police of Akwa Ibom State, Director of State Security Services of Akwa Ibom State, the Commander, 6th Motorized Brigade, Ibawa, Akwa Ibom State, members of the Diplomatic Corps, the Executive Secretary of National University Commission, Professor Abubakar Rashid, the Chairman of State Fund, who is here in person, the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of the Governing Council of the University of Uyo, Professor Austin Awujo, members of the University of Uyo Governing Council, former Pro-Chancellors and former Governing Council members here present, distinguished Convocation Lecturer, Professor Jegede, who is present, visiting Vice-Chancellors and former Vice-Chancellors here present, Secretary General Committee of Vice-Chancellors, Deputy Vice-Chancellors, and other principal officers of the University, members of Senate, and members of Congregation of the University of Uyo, distinguished honorary graduates, Royal Fathers here present, and note in particular the Emir of Kano, who has graciously graced this occasion for us is here. I also know that the Paramount Ruler of Uyo is present, the host Paramount Ruler of Ikorawasi is here. I recognize them. My Lord, spiritual and temporal representatives of corporate organizations here present, my dear graduates and parents and guardians, our dear host communities, great Nigerian students, that's better, members of the press, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Let me begin by expressing my great pleasure and gratitude to the Almighty God for providing me this special opportunity and privilege to welcome all of you here to the 22nd and the 23rd convocation ceremony of the University of Uyo. It is indeed the most gratifying. It is most gratifying to have here in our university this great gathering of your excellencies, royal fathers, the cream of the nation's academia, and of course business, and other distinguished personalities from all walks of life. I cannot thank God enough for bringing all of you most safely to you this peaceful fast-growing capital of Akwa Ibom State, which celebrated her 30th birthday as a separate state only last September, and yet looks just as mature in infrastructure as some of the oldest states in the country, thanks to the efforts and drive of the state's successive administrations. I am pleased to welcome very specially to the University of Uyo, the visitor to the university, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari GCFR. Similarly, I welcome most heartily our dear Honorable Minister of Education, Malam Adamu, here represented, and his team, which includes the distinguished Executive Secretary of the National Universities Commission, who is here represented. In the same token, I'm very delighted to welcome most warmly the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, His Excellency Dr. Emmanuel, here represented. Members of Akwa Ibom State Executive Council, members of the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, and members of the Akwa Ibom State Judiciary. I feel highly honored to have an audience in this university this day, distinguished members of the nation's National Assembly, past governors, and their spouses. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I crave your indulgence to welcome with great joy 3 highly respected and distinguished personalities to this occasion. They are Alhaji Mohammed Idimi, OFR, Lady Ime Esenudo, Barrister at Law, and Engineer Kevin Ejikeme Onuchukwu, all of whom, following aesthetic scrutiny by the Senate of the University of Uyo, have been considered deserving of the award of honorary degrees of this university at this 22nd and 23rd competitions of our great university for their outstanding contributions to the advancement of humanity. It is my pleasure to welcome with deep joy and pleasure our Chancellor, His Royal Highness Laji Abubakar Adamu Maje, CON, who is participating in convocation ceremonies of this university for the 2nd time since his appointment as Chancellor. The first time being in 2015. I extend a warmth to all the members of his entourage. It is my joy to welcome very especially my fellow Vice-Chancellors and Principal Officers of other universities, and I've seen quite a number of them, to this great event, including especially those from our collaborating institutions of learning and corporate bodies. The combined 22nd and 23rd convocation ceremony of the University of Uyo is very special moment both in my personal life and in the life of our great university. At a personal level, this is the first convocation that I have organized since I assumed office as Vice-Chancellor of the University of Uyo on December 1, 2015. Besides the special significance of a convocation ceremony in the life of both the staff and especially the students of any university, this season's convocation ceremony also has the flavor of the celebration of the Silver Jubilee of the University of Uyo since its establishment in 1991 as a reincarnate of the SY University of Cross River State, Uyo. Furthermore, this convocation ceremony marks yet another smooth transition from one university administration to another, and a moment to once again thank God for making His will to manifest in my humble quest to provide leadership in our university. On my part, I had long resolved that the best way to appreciate God for this great opportunity to serve my university and humanity is to provide a God-anchored leadership that will distribute nature's bounties to saints and to sinners. That would be fair, that I will be fair but firm. And that's, I would build on the great strides recorded by my predecessors in the development of our treasured university. In sum, I have long quietly resolved to do everything in my powers to justify the confidence reposed in me by those who invested great trust in my leadership potentials, and to convincingly dispel whatever skepticisms that may have greeted my Vice-Chancellorship. And it is often the case with any new entrant to an office with high responsibilities, especially that into which ascendancy is on a competitive platform. This convocation is hence very special to me, in the sense that it will provide me, or it provides me, the occasion to give the highlights of the journey so far in terms of our modest efforts in the last 2 sessions, and that it can provide a clear picture of the direction of my administration's policy in addressing the myriads of issues and problems affecting our great university. I assumed office as Vice-Chancellor at a moment that may be considered coeval with the climate of change in the nation's larger politics. Nigeria's general elections, which for the first time witnessed a smooth transition from one incumbent president of one ruling party to another president of an opposition party, took place in April 2015. And I came into office as Vice-Chancellor in December of the same year. This implies that I assumed duty just about the time some of the far-reaching changes of the new federal administration were beginning to manifest, and the usual effects that go with any change in a state of affairs had also begun to trickle down to the nation's ministries, departments, and agencies of government. While Nigerians generally appreciated the wisdom and vision of government in embarking on these measures, the implementation of these measures, novel as they are, requires some learning and time to master their modus operandi. A typical example is a Treasury Single Account, TSA, a policy which the MDS needed to adjust to, especially the university system, whose internally generated revenue is mainly for the provision of routine essential services such as diesel for the power generating sets, facilities for our students, and teaching aids for the lecturers, the dire absence of which can precipitate crisis. There were also fresh inputs into the admission policies which propped up controversies that occasioned the convening of an emergency meeting of Association of Vice-Chancellor of Nigerian Universities on July 21, 2016, to resolve the gray areas of the new policy. Furthermore, the Nigerian university system may have inadvertently become a victim of collateral damage in the federal government's strategy to check abuses in the salary payments, a situation which resulted in shortfalls in staff salaries. We also have been aware of the lapsing into recession of the nation's overheating economy in part of this period, and the chain effects of this on ministries, departments, and agencies of government. Much as these initial hitches may have somewhat affected the tempo of our progress, we did not, however, allow the challenges to dampen either our zeal or blow our vision to make the University of Uyo stand out in the Committee of Nigeria's Universities. Amidst these initial hiccups, we were able to plunge ourselves into work, the outcomes thus far of which can be presented under the following headings. development of physical infrastructure, upholding of and sustenance of academic traditions and best practices, new visions and innovations, the 22nd, 23rd convocation ceremonies, the road ahead, and the words of appreciation. Under development of physical infrastructure, I should say that in spite of the severe challenges of lean funds and other unfriendly circumstances just explained, we have been able to complete the projects we met on ground substantially. We have been able to complete them. We've been able to initiate new projects, and in fact we have completed 3 of the new projects that we have initiated. Just this morning before we came here, the President of the Federal Republic and Visitor commissioned some of the projects that we have completed, 6 of them. The President, represented by the Minister of State Education, commissioned 6 projects just today before we came. And this included the 1,000 lecture theatre, 1,000 capacity lecture theatre, the 500 capacity lecture theatre, and the staff offices for Faculty of Agric, the classroom block for Faculty of Agric, the classroom block for engineering faculty, the entrepreneurial services. You know, we've got the block, staff offices for Faculty of Science, 6 of them. Upholding and sustenance of academic traditions and best practices. Here we have been able to uphold academic traditions and best practices. We have maintained the committee system, quality control and assurance measures, the sacredness and inviolability of certain democratic principles that guarantee freedom of action and expression. We have maintained synergy and collaborations with other institutions within and outside Nigeria, whose visions and missions conduce to teaching and learning. Under that, we can say that we have ensured that when it comes to our programs are accredited. In June, we had a visit from NUC, National University Commission, that came for accreditation. And we had full accreditation in 18 of the 24 programs visited, and then interim accreditation in others. So we have done that, trying to ensure that we are accredited for our programs. We have also maintained the culture of hosting and attending conferences, workshops, and seminars. I've listed them there. We have also ensured that we continue with the culture, academic culture of inaugural lectures. Inaugural lecture is an indispensable academic culture in all universities globally, and we've maintained that. In the 2 years of my stewardship thus far, I have deliberately paid special attention to this strand of the university life, and the outcome is that in less than 2 years of my assumption of office, 11 professors have already presented their inaugural lectures, while 2 more who could not present because of the last nationwide strike by academic staff in all universities would do so by the grace of God before the end of the year. Very importantly, our students, our staff have continued to win prizes, they have continued to win honors, they have continued to win awards, and that should count in our ranking. In the nearly 2 years in which I have had the privilege of directing the affairs of our great university, the staff and students' forays into various scholarly activities and competitions have yielded highly commendable fruits in the forms of prizes, honors, awards, and favorable ranking. I mentioned just a few. The University of Uyo has won the overall first position at the 6th edition of the Nigeria Universities Research and exhibition fair, Nuretel. This took place in Oka, Nnamdi Azikiwe University. All universities participated, was sponsored by AUC, and we had the overall first position. And the university was given an award by the Senior of Vice-Chancellors in that regard. Two lecturers of the university won international travel grants to Freetown, Sierra Leone. This is a result of our collaboration with the University of Bedfordshire. And they came here for a public lecture, which they delivered towards the grant. The University of Uyo emerged the overall best from the South-South geopolitical zone in our engineering competition in June 2016. The University of Uyo won second position at the Nigerian National Mathematics Competition out of 24 federal universities that participated in 2016. University of Uyo has been ranked 19th among Nigeria's universities by Cybermetrics Laboratory, ranking website of Nigerian universities. Our students from the Department of Physiology, Faculty of Basic Medical Science, emerged winner of the Students' Physiological Association Debate Competition in 2016. They also emerged winner in the quiz competition of the same year. Our team of students from Department of Chemical Engineering won third prize at the Nigerian Society of Chemical Engineers Students Design Competition. University backed the Research Excellence Award from Committee of Vice-Chancellors in November 2016. Our staff, Dr. Anifio Udofia of the Department of Vocational Education, won an award on fiberboard, while Mr. Wisdom Mayor, a student in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, won an award on design and production of Model 3D printer, all from the Committee of Vice-Chancellors. The University of Uyo does not only study, they also play. So the university took part in staff games, and which was in Kaduna, December 2016. Our delegation to the games won 4 gold, 4 silver, and 4 bronze medals.
Come again.
Mr. Uchechukwu Ofo, lecturer 2, and Dr. Stanley Alabi, acting head of department, both of the Department of Chemical and Petroleum Engineering, recently developed an explicit model of friction factor estimation for pipe flow calculations. This was published in the July 2016 edition of Advances in Chemical Engineering and Science. The publication has received international written recognition by renowned experts in Czech Republic and University of Wisconsin-Madison, USA. The University of Uyo took part in the just concluded 2017 NUGA Games that took place at the Federal University of Technology, Makurdi, Benue State. Our delegation to the Games won 2 gold, 7 silver, and 6 bronze medals. Our team of students from the Department of Estate Management, Faculty of Environmental Studies, won 3rd prize at the National Quiz Competition from Universities of Polytechnic in Owerri, 2017. Of course, we also ensure that we train ourselves as students generally, not just in academics. So the university's Man of War took part in citizenship and leadership training course in Port Harcourt and won Treasure Hunt and Map Reading Award in 2017. 4 students of the Department of Mathematics and Statistics emerged overall best at the 9th National Mathematics Competition for university students, organized by Nigerian Mathematical Center, Abuja, out of 33 universities that participated. 2 students from the Department of Physiology, Faculty of Basic Medical Sciences, emerged winner of Students' Physiological Association in the debate. Now, Dr. Emmanuel Olorunshola of the Department of Pharmaceutics and Pharmaceutical Technology was awarded Certificate of Registration of Patent in respect of his invention of multifunctional pharmaceutical excipients which addresses the biopharmaceutical challenges associated with formulation of drugs with different dissolution grades. The brand name is called Prosotrix, and the sale is January 23, 2017. 4 students of the Department of Foreign Languages, Faculty of Arts, won debate competition for inter-tertiary institution held at the Bafin Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. The universities that competed included OAU and University of Jos. Professor Joseph Akawushe, one of our lecturers of the Department of English, was appointed one of the 10 jurors for the 2017 Montreal, Canada-based International Poetry Prize. The other 9 jurors are from USA, UK, Ireland, Uganda, India, Australia, Guyana, and Canada. Canada has 2 jurors. Professor Oshe had been one of the 50 poets from 10 countries and the only one from Africa whose poems won entry into the 2015 Montreal Global Poetry Anthology. Chairman, sir, what is not here, which I should add, is that the students of the Faculty of Law, in other words, our university, won this year's International Humanitarian Law Moot Court Competition held in Port Harcourt. They won in 2015 and they won again this year. And by that win, they will be the sole representative of Nigeria at the All Africa Competition of International Humanitarian Moot Court Competition in Arusha, International Criminal Court, Tanzania. Let me also add that this year, the result just released from Nigerian Law School, the students of our law faculty, 2 of them, made first class. Well, we had, I should announce with pleasure, that we had our matriculation on March 15, 2016, and that was the first matriculation. We are looking forward to the second. We've had a couple of goodwills, quite a lot of goodwill and courtesy calls on us since I assumed office. And for staff and students association activities, I can say that we have had vibrant staff and students association activities. I have ensured that there is no interference in the election of student union president. I will not decide who emerges president. I am not bothered because I want the students to have a free hand to experience the meaning of democracy. The students are here. If there were anything to the contrary, they would have said so. And the elections are normally very peaceful. They have smooth and peaceful transition. We have had new management since I came on board. I inherited the former deputy vice-chancellors who had to serve their tenure, and the registrars who also had to serve our tenure. And after they finished meritoriously, we also had to bring on board the current ones. We've had appointments like the Shell Professorial Chair. Shell has given that chair, endowed the chair, and we have also Chief Michael Anthony Ali Chair. We've had appointments into those chairs, and they are occupants of the chairs now. We've had appointments, Director of Physical Planning and other principal officers after I came on board. New visions and innovations. As a community of intellectuals, any university worthy of its name must continue to experiment with new visions and innovations by continuously reflecting on its operations and activities in order to bring them in line with global best practices. While my administration has thus far been re-examining every aspect of our university's community to discern areas that need new visions and innovations, the aspects that touched me most readily on assumption of office were those related to staff welfare, since it has always been my conviction that nothing replaces proper staff motivation in any work environment which aims to have the best results. In pursuance of this vision, I, with the support and approval of both council and management of the university, introduced and revised the university's extant position on the following areas of staff welfare. We have set up a committee on commendation and award because we are of the view that staff should not only be punished when they do some misdeeds, when they do wrongs. They should also be commended when they do good or good deeds. They should be rewarded to encourage others. So we have that committee in place to award and reward excellence. We have tried to see that the night allowances that staff have when they travel is so that they can actually hire a place to stay, have a place to lodge, rather than go into a home. We have also had professorial promotions. Since I came on board, I made bold to say that we have had the greatest number of professorial promotions in any 3-year period, not even 2-year period, that there is no match for it. Professorial promotions here, have in mind professors and associate professors. Both are professorial. We have had a total of 53 professorial promotions. But then, from when I took over till now. There are also some staff who had been on suspension for very long. And because we know that suspension, by the rules, should have a time lapse, shouldn't be indefinite. One's life should not remain on tenterhooks. So we have looked at their cases, some that really God had sought out their cases for years. We have looked at the cases on their merits, and deserving staff have been reinstated. And because federal government has phased out some categories of staff from 01-2, we have done some collateral conversion of staff from KTR to clerical officers. In these convocation ceremonies, we are awarding degrees and certificates, postgraduate diploma, master's degrees, PhDs, and honorary. You have first degrees and diplomas and certificates. Of course, we have 3 honorary awards on the 3 deserving personalities that will be unfolded before long. Let me look at the road ahead. Let me leave the past and go to the present and future. Challenges. Among the disquieting issues confronting the operations and the expansion of the frontiers of education for Nigerian universities, Nigerian children by the university are the following. 1, funding. Inadequate funding of education generally has been a drawback on quality and qualitative education. Because at the end of the day, everything boils down to funding. Right now, we are not fully staffed. We need more academic staff, or we cannot employ. Because if you employ them, there will be no money to pay them. From January 2016, we have had shortfall. I took over in December 2015, just the next month, shortfall started. So staff have not been able to get full salary. I think that affects all federal universities really. But I must commend the federal government that not long ago, the shortfall for 2016 had been cleared. So we have shortfall for 2017 now. And because you cannot pay staff fully, you cannot employ new staff. Because if you do, it's going to further cut down on what staff gets as salary. And that will breed restiveness. So even establishment of the universities, proper establishments, we deserve or we need physical infrastructure, and those things need money. Right now, if you look at the university, landscaping, municipal services should be provided. Buildings, what that name, should be provided to really make it a university. All these things have to do with money, and money is a problem. And importantly, I should mention that since the university took over, since the federal government established the university as a federal university in 1991, we have not been able to get a grant, take-off grant. It's normal that when you set up a university, you have a grant to give, to take off. We have not had that here today. So we call on that. We are very happy the visitor, the president, our president and commander-in-chief is here, ably represented. Security challenges. Generally, Uyo is known for peace, but we have security challenges, some criminality, encroachment that has to do with security. And again, encroachment, when you drive into the gate, you find out that you have buildings almost abutting the gate. Those do not belong to the university. They are the results of encroachment. And we need money to do a fencing around the whole university. And that is good money. So we are looking for that. Truncation of staff salaries, I've talked about that. Inadequate academic staff, I've mentioned that. The prospects. In spite of the problems currently faced by University of Uyo, we are very optimistic that with some little muscle, the institution will be right on the tracks to deliver more efficiently, more effectively on its mandates as a human resource developing institution. Already, our products are baked, even in these imperfect circumstances, have been proving their mettle in many fields of human endeavor. Given the commitment of the present federal government to blocking the holes in the management of the nation's resources, it is my expectation that some of the funds saved through the prudence in the running of government will be channeled into the revitalization of education in the country to bring our level of funding to UNESCO's minimum of 26% of annual budget. It is my earnest desire and wish that Nigeria's university education should be revived to a point where nationals of other countries will be coming here for learning, as it was in the 1960s, 1970s, and even up to the early 1980s. By way of appreciation, Your Excellencies, Chairman of Convocation, ladies and gentlemen, let me thank you all for your patience in listening to this very long address. However, before I round off, permit me to express my appreciation to certain persons and groups who have made various noble and altruistic contributions to the success of the journey so far. First, my praises go to God Almighty, the provider of life and the sole determinant of whatever we are to be, for giving me the rare opportunity to serve my dear University of Uyo. I'm also grateful to the members of the two governing councils that have journeyed with me thus far for their cooperation and high quality input that has guided the running of the university. I also thank the entire university community, University of Uyo community, for their cooperation with me thus far, particularly the Senate, the congregation, staff and students who often have had their own shares of the inadequacies emanating from poor funding. I feel highly humbled to thank all those eminent personalities who graced the Thanksgiving ceremony that was held on November 27, 2016 to mark my first year in office as Vice-Chancellor. In this regard, I thank His Excellency, the Governor, Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Dr. Emmanuel. I also thank His Excellency, the Executive Governor. I also thank His Excellency, the Deputy Governor, and members of the State Executive Council. I thank the Speaker and all members of the State Legislature. I thank the Chief Judge of Akwa Ibom State. and all members of the bench and the bar. I must not fail to thank the Pan Ibonibom Organization, Ibonibom Welfare and Development Union, for the grand royal reception they did in my honor on April 15, 2017. I extend my appreciation to members of the University of Uyo community who attended the reception as a show of solidarity with me. I cannot forget the host communities who have been showing considerable understanding in the bid to enhance the smoothness of the relationship between them and the university community. Let me also use this occasion to formally commend the principal officers I inherited from my predecessor, namely Deputy Vice-Chancellors, Treasurer and the North Philippine, the Registrar, Mr. Dagomonda, Librarian, Professor Felicia. In the same token, I do appreciate most immensely all the principal officers on the saddle at the moment. They are such a wonderful team. And I can assure all of us that with them, we will be able to realize our dream of achieving a state-of-the-art and globally top-ranked university. Let me also use this occasion to thank every one of you who expressed their goodwill to me on the occasion of my conferment with an admission into the very special, into the inner bar as Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Finally, permit me, ladies and gentlemen, to very specially acknowledge the support of my family, especially my spouse, Rosalind, for standing by me all through the course of the journey so far. In fact, I should say through thick and thin, because you went through those. In conclusion, and very finally, Your Excellency, I thank you for your patience and your audience. I thank you for tolerating this long speech. Your Excellency, the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Mohammed Buhari, GCFR, Your Excellencies, the Chairman of the Convocation and Chancellor of the University of Uyo, His Royal Highness, Alhaji Abubakar Maje Sioren, the Imam of Hadeja, past and present state governors here present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me repeat my warm congratulations to our convoking students, their parents and guardians, and other well-wishers on their fruitful sojourn in this university. I extend the same measure of felicitations to our honorary degree recipients on sailing through the ascetic scrutiny of the various committees and the Senate of the University of Uyo. I deeply appreciate everyone present here for sparing us your very valuable time to grace these convocation ceremonies. And I wish you all journey blessings back to your various destinations. Greetings, Nigerian students!
All their representatives to move up and present their goodwill messages.
Chancellor from Akwa Ibom State University.
Congratulations. This is from Whitman University.
Congratulations. This felicitation from Sulalami University, Kafin Hostage State.
Congratulations. This is from University of Port Harcourt.
Congratulations. This is from University of Ibadan. Congratulations. This is from Akwa Ibom State Polytechnic, Ikoroso.
From Evangel University in Boeing State, the penultimate one came from the Home of Peace, University of Maiduguri.
Congratulations, this is from Cross River University of Technology.
Cross River University of Technology.
Congratulations, this is from Fountain University of Sugar.
Fountain University of Sugar.
Very hearty congratulations, Obong University.
Obong University, a private university in Akwa Ibom State.
Congratulations from Akwa Ibom State College of Education.
The presenter, Professor Matthew Eko, the provost of the college.
Congratulations, this is from Bayero University, Kano.
The great BUK, Bayero University. The Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Council is here, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, His Excellency.
Congratulations from Yusuf Maitamasile University, Kano, formerly Northwest University. Congratulations.
One of the latest universities in Nigeria.
Congratulations from Ebonyi State University, Abakaliki.
The salt of the nation, Ebonyi State.
Congratulations from Maritime Academy of Nigeria, Bolon.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations from River State University.
Formerly River State University of Science and Technology, now is a conventional university, River State University.
Congratulations from the Governing Council of Technology.
Photo Honorary for short.
Thank you very much of diplomas and certificates. The visitor, the Chancellor, Your Excellencies, may I please request the deans of faculties to be prepared, particularly the Dean of Faculty of Agriculture as at now, to present the candidates who have satisfied the requirements of the statutes and regulations of the University of Uyo and who have been found worthy both in character and learning to be awarded the diploma of the University of Uyo, Dean of Faculty of Agriculture.
Will all the adherents in the Faculty of Agriculture for the award of diplomas please stand? Chancellor, sir, in the name of the Faculty of Agriculture and by the authority of the Senate, I have the honor to present to you these persons who have successfully completed their diploma examination in this university. Those present and those who, for good cause, are unavoidably absent, and for whom I stand proxy, who have been found worthy both in character and in learning for the award of diplomas of the University of Uyo in the relevant courses.
By the authority vested in me as Chancellor, I award you all present and those who are unavoidably absent, for whom the Dean stands proxy, the diplomas of the University of Uyo in relevant courses. Congratulations.
You okay now?
The visitor, the Chancellor, I now want to call upon the Dean of Faculty of Arts to present the candidates who have satisfied the requirements of the statutes and regulations of the University of Uyo and who have been found worthy both in character and learning to be awarded the diploma and certificates of the University of Uyo. Dean of Arts.
Will all the graduates in the Faculty of Arts for the award of diplomas and certificates please stand? Chancellor, sir, in the name of the Faculty of Arts and by the authority of Senate, I have the honor to present to you these persons who have successfully completed their diploma and certificate examination in the university. Those present and those who, for good cause, are unavoidably absent, and for whom I stand proxy, who have been found worthy both in character and in learning for the award of diplomas and certificates in the University of Uyo in the relevant courses.
By the authority vested in me as Chancellor, I award you all present, those who are unavoidably absent, for whom the Dean stands proxy, diplomas and certificates of the University of Uyo in your relevant courses. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I now call upon the Dean of the Faculty of Business Administration to present the candidates who have satisfied the requirements of the statutes and regulations of the University of Uyo and who have been found worthy both in character and in learning to be awarded the diploma of the University of Uyo.
Will all the graduates in the Faculty of Business Administration for the award of diplomas please stand? Chancellor, sir, in the name of the Faculty of Business Administration and by the authority of the Senate, I have the honor to present to you these persons who have successfully completed the diploma examinations in the university. Those present and those who for good causes are unavoidable absent and for whom I stand proxy, who have been found worthy both in character and in learning for the award of diplomas of the University of Uyo in relevant courses.
By the authority vested in me, Chancellor, I award you all present and those who are unavoidably absent, for whom the Dean stands proxy, diplomas at the University of Uyo in your relevant courses. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Chancellor. I now call upon the Dean of the Faculty of Education to present the candidates who have satisfied the requirements of the statutes and regulations of the University of Uyo and who have been found worthy both in character and in learning to be awarded a diploma of the University of Uyo. Dean, Faculty of Education.
Will all the graduates in the Faculty of Education for the award of diplomas please stand? Chancellor, sir, in the name of the Faculty of Education and by the authority of Senate, I have the honor to present to you these persons who have successfully completed their diploma examinations in the university. Those present and those who are, for good cause, are unavoidably absent, and for which I stand proxy, who have been found worthy, both in character and in learning, for the award of diplomas of the University of Uyo in the relevant courses.
By the authority vested in me as Chancellor, I award you all present and those who are unavoidably absent, for whom the Dean stands proxy, the diplomas of the University of York in your relevant courses. Congratulations.
Thank you. I now call upon the Dean of Faculty of Law to present candidates who have satisfied the requirements of the statutes and regulations of this university and who have been found worthy both in character and in learning to be awarded the diploma of the University of York. Dean of Law.
We are all the graduates in the Faculty of Law for the award of the diploma this time. Chancellor, in the name of the Faculty of Law and by the authority of Senate, I have the honor to present to you these persons who have successfully completed their diploma examination in the university. Those present, those for good cause, are unavoidably absent, for whom I stand proxy, who have been found worthy, both in character and in learning, for the award of diplomas at the University of York in relevant courses.
By the authority vested in me as Chancellor, I award you all present and those who are unavoidably absent, for whom the Dean stands proxy, the diplomas of the University of York in your relevant courses. Congratulations.
I now call upon the Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences to present the candidates who have satisfied the requirements of the statutes and regulations of the University of New York and who have been found worthy in character and in learning to be awarded the diploma of the University of New York. Dean Faculty of Social
Will all the graduates in the Faculty of Social Sciences for the award of diplomas please stand? Chancellor, sir, in the name of the Faculty of Social Sciences and by the authority of Senate, I have the honor to present to you these persons who have successfully completed their diploma examinations in the university. Those present and those who for good cause are unavoidably absent and for whom I stand proxy, who have been found worthy both in character and in learning for the award of diplomas for the University of York in the relevant courses.
By the authority vested in me as Chancellor, I award you all present and those who are unavoidably absent, for whom the Dean stands proxy, the diplomas of the University of York in your relevant courses. Congratulations.
Thank you very, very much. Chancellor, sir, at this juncture, we are proceeding to award first degrees in 12 faculties. At this point, I want to again call on the Dean Faculty of Agriculture to present the graduates in the Faculty of Agriculture for the award of first degree.
Will all the graduates of the Faculty of Agriculture please stand? Chancellor, sir, in the name of the Faculty of Agriculture and by the authority of the Senate, I present the following graduates whose names appear on the list hereafter, those present and those absent for whom I stand proxy, who have been found worthy, both in character and in learning, to be admitted to the degrees of Bachelor of Agriculture, Bachelor of Fisheries, Bachelor of Forestry, and Bachelor of Science of the University of Uyo, as the case may be.
By the authority vested in me as Chancellor, I admit you all, those present and those who are unavoidably absent, for whom the Dean stands proxy for the degrees of Bachelors of Agriculture, Bachelor of Fisheries, Bachelor of Forestry, Bachelor of Science of the University of Uyo, as the case may be. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I call on the Dean of Arts to present graduates from the Faculty of Arts.
Will all the graduates of the Faculty of Arts please stand? Chancellor, sir, in the name of the Faculty of Arts and by the authority of Senate, I present the following graduates whose names appear on the list herein, those present and those absent for whom I stand proxy, those who have been found worthy both in character and in learning to be admitted to the degree of Bachelors of Arts of the University of Uyo.
By the authority vested in me as Chancellor, I admit you all, those present, those unavoidably absent, for whom the Dean stands proxy for the degree of Bachelor of Arts at the University of Uyo. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I call on the Dean, Faculty of Clinical Sciences, to present graduates from that faculty.
Will all the graduates of the Faculty of Clinical Sciences please stand? In the name of the Faculty of Clinical Sciences and by the authority of Senate, I present the following graduates whose names appear on the list hereinafter, those present and those absent for whom I stand proxy, who have been found worthy, both in character and in learning, to be admitted into the degree of Bachelor of Medicine, Bachelor of Surgery of the University of Uyo.
Me, as Chancellor, I admit you all present and those unavoidably absent, for whom the Dean stands proxy to the degree of Bachelor of Science in Medicine, Surgery at the University of Uyo. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chancellor. I call upon the Dean, Faculty of Basic Medical Sciences, to present graduates from that faculty.
Will all the graduates in the Faculty of Basic Medical Sciences please stand? Chancellor, sir, in the name of the Faculty of Basic Medical Sciences and by the authority of Senate, I present the following graduates whose names appear in the list herein, those present and those absent, for whom I stand proxy, who have been found worthy, both in character and learning, to be admitted to the degrees of Bachelor of Science in Anatomy, Biochemistry, and Physiology of the University of Uyo.
By the authority vested in me, Chancellor, I admit you all those present and those unavoidably absent for whom the Dean stands proxy to the degree of Bachelor of Science in Anatomy, Biochemistry, and in Physiology of the University of Uyo. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Chancellor. I call upon the Dean, Faculty of Business Administration, to present his graduates.
All the graduates of the Faculty of Business Administration, please stand. Chancellor, sir, in the name of the Faculty of Business Administration and by the authority of the Senate, I present the following graduates whose names appear on the list hereafter, those present and those absent for whom I stand proxy, who have been found worthy both in character and in learning, to be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Science in Accounting, Banking and Finance, Business Management, Marketing and Insurance of the University of Uyo.
By the authority vested in me as Chancellor, I admit you all those present, those unavoidably absent, for whom the Dean stands proxy, the degree of Bachelor of Science in Accounting, Banking and Finance, Business Management, Marketing and Insurance of the University of Uyo, as the case may be. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chancellor. I call upon the Dean, Faculty of Education, to present his graduates.
Will all the graduates of the Faculty of Education please stand? Chancellor, sir, in the name of the Faculty of Education and by the authority of Senate, I present the following graduates whose names appear on the list hereinafter, those present and those absent for whom I stand proxy, who have been found worthy both in character and in learning. They were admitted to the degrees of Bachelor of Arts Education, Bachelor of Science Education, or Bachelor of Education in the University of Uyo, as the case may be.
By the authority vested in me as Chancellor, I admit you all, those present and those unavoidably absent, for whom the Dean stands proxy to the degree of Bachelor of Arts Education, Bachelor of Science Education, Bachelor of Education of the University of Uyo, as the case may be.
Thank you very much, our Chancellor. I call on the Dean of Engineering to move to the dais and present graduates from Faculty of Engineering.
Will all the graduates of the Faculty of Engineering please rise? The Chancellor, sir, in the name of Faculty of Engineering and by the authority of Senate, I present the following graduates whose names appear on the list hereafter, those present and those absent, for whom I stand proxy, who have been found worthy both in character and in learning to be admitted to the degrees of Bachelor of Engineering of the University of Uyo.
authority vested in me as Chancellor, I admit you all, those present and those unavoidably absent, for whom the Dean stands proxy, to the degree of Bachelor of Engineering of the University of New York. Congratulations.
I request the Dean of Environmental Studies to present graduates from that faculty.
Will all the graduates of the Faculty of Environmental Studies please stand? Chancellor, sir, in the name of the Faculty of Environmental Studies and by the authority of Senate, I present the following graduates whose names appear on the list here in outside, those present and those absent from whom I stand proxy, who have been found worthy, both in character and learning, to be admitted to the degrees of Bachelor of Art in Fine Industrial Art, Bachelor of Architecture, Bachelor of Urban Regional Planning, Bachelor of Science in Building, Estate Management, Land Survey, and Quantity Survey of the University of New York.
By the authority vested in me as Chancellor, I admit you all, those present and those unavoidably absent, for whom the Dean stands proxy, to the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Fine and Industrial Arts, Bachelor of Architecture, Bachelor of Urban and Regional Planning, Bachelor of Science in Estate Management, Land Surveying, and Quantity Surveying of the University of New York. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chancellor.
Will all the graduates of the Faculty of Law please stand? Chancellor, sir, in the name of the Faculty of Law and by the authority of State, I present the following graduates whose names appear on the list hereinafter. Those present and those absent, for whom I stand proxy, who have been found worthy, both in character and in learning, to be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Laws in the University of New York.
By the authority vested in me as Chancellor, I admit you all, those present, those unavoidably absent, for whom the Dean stands proxy, to the degree of Bachelor of Laws of the University of New York. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I call on the Dean, Faculty of Pharmacy, to present graduates from that faculty.
Will all the graduates of the Faculty of Pharmacy please stand? Chancellor, sir, in the name of the Faculty of Pharmacy and by the authority of Senate, I present the following graduates whose names appear on the list hereinafter. Those present and those absent, for whom I stand proxy, who have been found worthy, both in character and in learning, to be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Pharmacy of the University of New York.
By the authority vested in me as Chancellor, I admit you all, those present and those unavoidably absent, for whom the Dean stands proxy, to the degree of Bachelor of Pharmacy of the University of New York. Congratulations.
Thank you, our Chancellor. May I please request the Dean, Faculty of Science, to present graduates from that faculty.
Friends of the Faculty of Science, please stand. Chancellor, sir, In the name of the Faculty of Science and by the authority of Senate, I present the following graduates whose names appear on the list hereinafter. Those present and those absent, for whom I stand proxy, who have been found worthy both in character and in learning to be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Science of the University of Uyo.
By the authority vested in me as Chancellor, I admit you all, those present, those unavoidably absent, for whom the Dean stands proxy to the degree of Bachelor of Science of the University of Uyo. Congratulations.
Thank you, our Chancellor. May I please request the Dean, Faculty of Social Sciences, to present graduates from that faculty.
Will the graduates of the Faculty of Social Sciences please stand? Chancellor, sir, in the name of the Faculty of Social Sciences, and by the authority of Senate, I present the following graduates, whose names appear on the list hereinafter, those present and those absent for whom I stand proxy, who have been found worthy, both in character and in learning, to be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Science of the University.
By the authority vested in me as Chancellor, I admit you all, those present and those unavoidably absent, for whom the Dean stands proxy to the degree of Bachelor of Science of the University of Uyo. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Chancellor. Chancellor, sir, we are at the point of conferment of postgraduate diplomas and higher degrees. I now call upon the Dean of the postgraduate school to present those students who have satisfied the requirements as prescribed by the Senate of the University of Uyo and have been found to work in character and in learning to be conferred with postgraduate diplomas, higher degrees, and honorary degrees of this university. I call on the Dean of postgraduate school to present them.
Will all the graduates for the postgraduate diplomas please stand? Chancellor, sir, in the name of the postgraduate school and by the authority of Senate, I present to you the following graduates whose names appear on this list hereinafter, those present and those unavoidably absent, and those whom I stand proxy, who have been found worthy, both in character and in learning, to receive the postgraduate diploma of this university.
By the authority vested in me as Chancellor, I confer on you all, those present and those unavoidably absent, for whom the Dean stands proxy, the first graduate diplomas in mass communication, business administration, education, public administration, and local government of the University of Uyo. Congratulations.
The Dean postgraduate school to present the candidates to be conferred with master's degrees of this university.
Will all the graduates for the master's degree please stand? Chancellor, sir, in the name of the postgraduate school and by the authority of Senate, I present to you the following graduates whose names appear on the list hereinafter to be conferred with master's degrees, those present and those unavoidably absent, and for whom I stand proxy, who have been found worthy both in character and in learning to receive master's degree of this university.
By the authority vested in me as Chancellor, I confer on you all, those present and those unavoidably absent, for whom the Dean stand proxy, master's degrees this university. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Chancellor. We, at this point, we are going to confer the degree of Doctor of Philosophy on those who are deserving. This is the icing on the cake, and we want to invite them to walk up to the dais, have a handshake with the Vice-Chancellor and the Chancellor and the Pro-Chancellor, yes, while they will also receive their scroll.
Will all the graduates for the degrees of Doctor of Philosophy please stand? Chancellor, sir, in the name of the postgraduate school and by the authority of Senate, I present to you the following graduates whose names are...
You're supposed to See, after now, during the honorary graduate, all of you will be standing out there. Immediately after this particular, all of you will be standing out there. Yeah, of course.
Mày bao cái chuyện cái nào đấy bắt đầu mình bia chứ, mày bao cái gì podium, cái à rồi cái bia chứ, mày bao cái podium, cái này, tao nóiว่าcái gì đâu, mày bao cái gì mày bao, sao mà
He is a polyglot from Borno State. Nor are we about to honor him because he is a successful businessman of Kanuri extraction, who sits on the boards of many blue-chip companies. UNIO is not honoring him because in 2011, at the age of 63 years, Forbes ranked him as the 30th richest person in Africa with a net worth of over 330 million US dollars. While Wikipedia in 2017 estimated his net worth at 670 million US dollars. No, these are not why the University of Uyo is about to honor him. The university is going to honor Dr. Muhammadu Indene because, in general, he has positively impacted the lives of many people in Nigeria and outside Nigeria. Over and above this, he has blessed and impacted the University of Uyo positively. In the next few minutes, I will explain to this highly esteemed audience how this man has blessed Nigerians and Akwa Ibom people in general and the University of Uyo in particular. Between 2011 and 2013, his company, Oriental Energy Resources Limited, invested almost $2 million US in the upgrade of the laboratories and libraries of the Department of Chemical and Petroleum Engineering, University of Uyo, and that contributed in a most direct way to helping the department secure accreditations from the Nigerian Universities Commission, NUC, and the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, CORE. His company is currently engaging other operators in Akwa Ibom State to create a sustained funding program of sponsorship for the Department of Chemical and Petroleum Engineering of this university. His aim is to transmogrify UNIO, Department of Chemical and Petroleum Engineering, into one of the top 10 departments of that discipline in the world. Between 2010 and 2017, Dr. Indene, through his company, the Oriental Energy Resources Limited, invested over $5.6 million US in social investment projects and programs which have impacted over 11,000 persons, improving their quality of life, securing their livelihoods, engendering small business growth and economic empowerment, while contributing to shared prosperity for all. In this way, Dr. Indene has contributed to the achievement of sustainable development goals in Akwa Ibom State. Ladies and gentlemen, I thought you would clap for Indene at this moment. In August 2017, Dr. Indene went to Mbo local government area of Akwa Ibom State and set up a record which may not be easily broken in the near future. He led several stakeholders, including government officials, business associates, friends, community leaders, and members to a groundbreaking ceremony for the Oriental Village Housing Project in Ewan, Mbolo government area of Akwa Ibom State. The project is being funded and built exclusively by Dr. Indene's company, Oriental Energy Resources Limited, and the Muhammadu Indene Foundation as a legacy project for Oriental Energy's host communities. It is a unique and innovative initiative which entails the construction of 100 housing units comprising functional one-bedroom panel apartments within a secure estate with a clinic and 6 learning centers. The project also has provision for solar photovoltaic panels to power all the apartments and associated facilities. Within this context, we can understand how and why the Imbo Traditional Rulers Council honored him with the chieftaincy title of Ovong Oforo Mbo as a mark of appreciation of his company's contribution to the development of Mbo. Dr. Indene's Oriental Energy Resources Limited has created an annual scholarship fund which has seen over 470 scholarships awarded since 2009 at post-primary and tertiary level students in Akwa Ibom State. His company has also trained over 270 youths at several skill acquisition centers in Uyo, Eket, and Ewan in Akwa Ibom State. All the beneficiaries of these trainings were given starter packs and startup funds for their businesses. Dr. Indene's company, the Oriental Energy Resources Limited, has constructed 3 centers. The project also has provision for solar photovoltaic panels to power all the apartments and associated facilities. Within this context, we can understand how and why the Imbo Traditional Rulers Council honored him with the chieftaincy title of Ovong Oforo Mbo as a mark of appreciation of his company's contribution to the development of Mbo. Dr. Indemi's Oriental Energy Resources Limited has created an annual scholarship fund which has seen over 470 scholarships awarded since 2009 at post-primary and tertiary level students in Akwa Ibom State. His company has also trained over 270 youths at several skill acquisition centers in Uyo, Eket, and Enwan in Akwa Ibom State. All the beneficiaries of these trainings were given starter packs and startup funds for their businesses. Dr. Indemi's company, the Oriental Energy Resources Limited, has constructed 3 science laboratories, one for physics, chemistry, and biology respectively for the secondary school in Ebugu, Mbo local government area. His company also constructed 14 en-suite rooms with teachers' quarters to encourage teacher retention in a Fiat community. He has built a health center and a doctor's quarters for healthcare professionals in a Fiat. Under the aegis of Oriental Energy Resources Limited, he has empowered over 50 fishermen in Mbo local government area by providing them with complete fishing gears, including 5 fiber boats, fishing nets, and sundry items. The long-term goal is to improve the livelihoods of those fishermen. Dr. Indemi has conducted annual community health outreach in Mbo for over 6,000 persons, covering all facets of health needs: maternal and child health care, pediatric medicine, care and enablement services for the physically challenged, school health promotion, medical laboratory testing, administering and dispensing medicine, and health screening for some chronic diseases. Giveaway items included 2,000 hygiene packs, 500 mosquito nets, 478 eyeglasses, 20 wheelchairs, etc. Dr. Indemi believes that one way of building the nation is to empower the youth. So he constructed a youth empowerment center in Mbo local government area and equipped it with a printing press, engraving and monogramming studio, internet service center, digital photographic studio, reception hall, etc. Dr. Indemi is a gender-sensitive person. Consequently, he empowered 500 women from Mbo local government area with financial literacy and business skills over a 10-day training period. Beneficiaries also received a one-on-one technical assistance, professional business advice, as well as startup grants. Dear Chancellor and everyone present here, from what I have said so far, it is clear that Dr. Indemi is a humanitarian and a philanthropist. He finds pleasure in using his financial resources to make a difference in the lives of individuals and improving the quality of life of his immediate community and beyond. That is why, as the founder and chief executive officer of Oriental Energy Resources Limited, Dr. Indemi has provided leadership, enabling environment, and sufficient resources for his company to utilize in executing these many corporate social responsibility initiatives in Akwa Ibom State. The Chancellor said, so far, the focus of this citation has been on the philanthropic activities of Dr. Indemi in Akwa Ibom State. This is deliberate and does not in any way mean that his philanthropic activities are only confined to Akwa Ibom State. Trying to narrate all the philanthropic engagements of Dr. Indemi may take a greater part of today. Nevertheless, mention must be made of some other activities of this selfless and passionate giver in other parts of Nigeria. Dr. Indemi, through the aegis of his foundation, has provided intensive support in terms of food, medicine, and clothing to the IDP, that is internally displaced people, camp in Borno State. 100-unit, 600 million naira housing estate, as well as a school, medical clinic, and market for the IDP camp is under construction at Bama. An identical housing estate will soon be constructed in Ngala. There are more than 200 tertiary education students of Borno extraction on the Indimi Foundation Scholarship. The list goes on and on, but we will stop there. Chancellor, sir, and the Vice-Chancellor, Chairman of Senate, and distinguished audience, I have told you about Dr. Indimi's philanthropic engagements. Now is about time for me to tell you about the man, Muhammadu Indimi. Dr. Indimi was born on 12 August 1947 in Maiduguri into a trading family. His father was a renowned trader in hides and skins. Like most children in northern Nigeria of that time, he was not fortunate to pursue formal education, partly because the number of schools were limited, being few and far between. Consequently, most children were deprived of Western education. Given that situation, parents who were unable to place their children in the few available government schools ended up sending their kids to Quranic schools. While attending Quranic school, young Muhammadu's abilities clearly pointed to the fact that he was very, very intelligent. He was, among other things, able to learn and speak Hausa, Arabic, and Fulfulde proficiently, in addition to his mother tongue, Kanuri. Later on, he added English, French, and Pidgin English. The Vice-Chancellor, sir, there are unconfirmed reports that this man is learning Ibibio and Igbo languages. Dr. Indimi's business acumen and achievements are significant proofs that he has been a very good student of his father, who had introduced him to business at a very early age of 10 years. At the age of 16, young Muhammadu launched his first venture by establishing a bicycle rental outfit. When his father saw his early enterprising qualities, he gave him capital to start his own business. Thus, young Indimi was effectively launched into business by his father. From the early bicycle rental business venture, young Muhammadu has worked himself to the very top. Dr. Indimi is the sole founder and executive chairman of Rental Energy Resources Limited and has over 24 years experience in the Nigerian upstream oil and gas sector. He is the chairman of M&W Pump Nigeria Limited, which had partnered with MWI Corp of Deerfield, Florida, USA. He founded many successful indigenous companies and sits on the board of Arab Contractors, OAO Nigeria Limited, Jais Bank PLC, and International University of Africa, Khartoum in Sudan. Dr. Indimi is a devout Muslim, a loving husband, and a caring father of many children. He consciously creates and enjoys spending time with his family. He plays golf occasionally. Dr. Indimi has received numerous awards and recognitions, including chieftaincy titles, honorary doctorate degrees, etc. in Nigeria and abroad for his humanitarian activities and philanthropic engagements. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished audience, today we are about to witness this epoch-making occasion as the University of Uyo admits this self-made Nigerian billionaire, a humanist and a philanthropist, a caring father and a loving husband, a devout Muslim, Muhammadu Indimi, into its prestigious degree of Doctor of Business Administration, honoris causa.
Of Doctor of Business Administration, honoris causa of the University of Uyo. Congratulations.
Honorable Visitor, Chancellor, Sir, Your Excellencies, my Lords, spiritual and temporal, Your Highnesses, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Senate of the University of Uyo has resolved that the degree of Doctor of Law, Honoris Causa, of the University of Uyo be conferred on Lady Barrister Ime Esienudo. I now call on the public orator, Dr. Enobong Joshua, to present the honorary graduate.
Of this convocation, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, if the days of one's life were a container and one's achievements were to be the contents of the container, the achievements of Barrister this beautiful lady, Lady Barrister Ime Esienudo, would fill 5 containers and overflow. She was born 66 years ago as a daughter of Akwa Ibom State, precisely on May 6, 1951. And yet she had long immortalized herself through monumental strides in many areas of human existence. At the youthful age of 22, she had already earned a Bachelor of Laws degree, LLB, from the then University of Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University, and was called to the bar in 1974, having acquired the Bachelor at Law, BL, at the Nigerian Law School, Lagos. She subsequently returned to Ife for the Masters of Law degree in 1980. And in 1990, she went offshore to the Caribbean, where she returned with a postgraduate diploma in legislative drafting from the University of West Indies, Barbados. Barrister Ime Udom's cosmopolitan profile is deliciously spiced with her fluency in 4 major Nigerian languages: Ibibio, English, French, and Yoruba. Thus, armed with a sound legal education, Barrister Ime Esienudo launched into the larger world, where she rendered services in the 3 realms of the civil service: public service, community-based humanitarian services. The first leg of her practice of law stretched from 1974 through 1984, during which she served as prosecuting state counsel under the Ministries of Justice at Maiduguri, Calabar, and Ibadan. From 1984 through 1985, she prosecuted civil and criminal cases at both the Federal Courts of Appeal and the Supreme Court as principal state counsel under the government of Cross River State. From 1985 through 1986, Barrister Ime Esienudo was Deputy Director of Civil Litigations in the Cross River State and assumed duty as Administrator General, Public Trustee, first under the Cross River State and subsequently continued in the same position under the newly created Akwa Ibom State from 1987 through 1989. In this capacity, Barrister Udom also served as advisor to the government on issues relating to inheritance and succession. Our distinguished honorary degree awardees' iconoclasm as a legal practitioner manifested itself stridently when she had the opportunity to chair the Akwa Ibom State Law Reform Commission from 1991 to 1992. In this capacity, Barrister Udom galvanized its exercise towards the reform and review of customary laws and practices in the state, with special emphasis on succession and inheritance rights of women. She further set in motion the reform of the Children and Young Persons Law before buying out voluntarily from the service or from a civil service in August 1992. On her retirement, Our distinguished honorary doctorate graduate standing before you expanded the horizon of our services to humanity through both private practice and the flank of open party politics. Accordingly, she established the Ime Sienudom, an associates law firm, which has thrived since 1992 till date, with her as a senior partner. Besides her routine appearances in courts as a vibrant legal practitioner, Barrister Ime Udom was found invaluable by government at various levels and was naturally called upon quite often to render service in various capacities and situations. At various times she had, hence, been a member of the panel of inquiry into the problems of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation and NPC, Chairman, Akwa Ibom State Tourism Board, Program Manager, Democracy and Governance under the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, a program whose main thrust was to strengthen civil society's contribution to increase democratic participation and respect for human rights. She played a key role in the design, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation of this project, one outcome of which was her being adjusted to the position of National Coordinator, USAID Office of Transition Initiative. Her occupying this position in 1991, 99 through 2000, entrusted to her the responsibility of engaging in activities that could sustain and strengthen the nation's nascent democracy through addressing issues related to conflict resolution, civilian-military relations, effecting economic policy change through supporting anti-corruption projects and jump-starting economic reforms. Other activities of the agency included training of elected officials and government officers and capacity building for non-governmental organizations. From the USAID, Barrister Udom moved to another equally invaluable outfit, the Community Partners for Development, still as National Coordinator, whose duties included building partnerships for sustainable development with bias for the rural areas, where the organization harnessed the efforts of community groups through integrated development, through a well-managed microcredit-based integrated approach. Our distinguished honoree's profile as a goal-getter caught the attention of the federal government, which accordingly entrusted her with the role of chairmanship of the National Commission for Refugees between the years 2005 and 2007, both years inclusive. In this role, she introduced numerous reforms in the operations of the Commission and designed the Commission's new strategic plans, which have enhanced its performance till date. Back home in Akwa Ibom State, Barrister Ime Sienudom led the state's team to the National Political Reform Conference of 2005, at which forum she was further advanced to membership of the Revenue Allocation Committee. As a member of this committee, she tirelessly presented papers on fiscal federalism, resource control, land use and reform, and the Niger Delta issues, all of which conduced to the shaping of the mindset of members of the CONFAT. Outside the orbit of strictly government activities, our honorary doctorate awardee has over the seasons also involved herself in non-governmental activities. For instance, she had been a member of the Board of Management of Transparency in Nigeria, which is an affiliate of Transparency International, and the pioneer president, African Strategic and Peace Research Group, which works closely with regional international bodies like ECOWAS and ANAD to produce harmonized mechanism for conflict management in the sub-region. Further, Barrister Ime Udom had been the pioneer president of the International Federation of Women Lawyers in Akwa Ibom State, and Deputy Country Vice President, FIDA, Nigeria. This was a platform which she used to contribute towards tax reforms in the country, especially as the tax system affects women. Above all, as a pioneer chairperson, FIDA Akwa Ibom State, she was engaged in the running of a family law center which provides free legal advice and counseling to the public, especially the women and children. In some cases, they provide free legal representation in court and also organize workshops and seminars to educate women on their legal rights. She is also a life member of the National Council of Women's Societies and the pioneer president, Federation of Akwa Ibom Women Associations. Aside from her high-quality cosmopolitan education, our distinguished doctoral awardee has continued to garnish and hone her formal education with senior management courses across the seasons and between her various positions of responsibility. She has, for example, benefited from the International Contract Negotiations Program under the Administrative Staff College of Nigeria in Badagry and from the Shell Management Program run in Port Harcourt. Barrister Ime Sienudum has also participated in the Advanced Legal Course in Practice and Procedure under the auspices of the Institute of Advanced Legal Studies in Lagos. Other similar skills enhancing programs she has availed herself of include the USAID Workshop on Democratization, the Simple Language Drafting course, which took her to New Orleans in the United States of America, and the consultative meeting on IDP Legislatures project, which took place in Vienna, Austria. In 2007, she was also in Italy, where she benefited from a course on human rights of international displaced persons, IDPs. Apart from her various pragmatic contributions to the development of humanity on the different platforms so far presented, our distinguished honorary doctoral beneficiary has also made admirable incursions into the world of scholarship. She has carried out researches on the topics international economic law, ECOWAS and the new International Economic Order 1980, international law of the sea, flag states and the genuine link 1990, and has done and presented an avalanche of publications on gender and political issues. Barrister Ime Esienudum is a member of many professional bodies, among which are the Nigerian Bar Association, International Federation of Women Lawyers, Nigerian Society of International Law, and of the Institute of International Affairs. And in the season when she went into party politics, she was an ex-officio member of the National Executive Committee of the People's Democratic Party and the party's National Publicity Secretary at another time. Distinguished Chancellor and respected ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure and honor to present to you this day for the award of honorary degree of Doctor of Laws, an eminent legal luminary. This great lady standing before you, who is an educationist, an accomplished and iconoclastic legal practitioner, a patriot, a woman of many parts, an accomplished public servant, a polyglot, an international public servant who has touched lives most positively across climes and time. Barrister Dr. Ime Esienudum, for the conferment of the degree of Doctor of Laws Honoris Causa by the University of Europe.
of the University of will be conferred on Engineer Kevin Ejikeme Onochukwu. I now call on the public orator, Professor Kingsley Akpabio, to present the honorary graduate.
That is much taller than myself. The task of presenting an oil guru, somebody who was born and has decided to grow and live in the oil sector. I didn't invite him out, but now that he's here, Chancellor sir, beg your permission to ask him to keep standing until he finishes with this program. Engineer Kevin Ejikeme Onochukwu is a Nigerian from the southeast. He studied chemical engineering in the University of Port Harcourt, where he graduated with honors in 1995. He joined the services of Goodwill Producing Unlimited in 1997 and started his career with oversight responsibilities for technical support and treating of well over 500,000 barrels of crude oil per day. In 2004, he moved on to Development Planning Department and led several oil and gas facilities, double bottlenecking studies.
Okay.
Later, Engineer Onochukwu, standing here before you, became the business advisor to the Executive Director, Production, Mobile Producing Nigeria Unlimited. The business demands of his new office lays on his already undying quest for education, spurred this Kevin standing here to obtain a postgraduate diploma in business administration and a master's in business administration, respectively from the University of Calabar in 2012. In addition, Engineer Onochukwu has attended several training courses in Nigeria, the United Kingdom, and the United States of America. Inclusive in the vista of his training spectrum are project management in oil and gas production operations, environmental awareness, negotiation, and conflict regulation, which is not lacking in the oil sector. He became supervisor, facilities engineering in 2006, and mentored and trained several engineers on facilities surveillance and process simulation, project management, and oil and gas facilities,
double bottlenecking in the process. On completion of this notable assignment, Engineer Onuchukwu relocated to Houston, Texas in the United States as Global Engineering Regional Lead for Africa, covering Angola, Equatorial Guinea, Nigeria, and the Chad, where he led and deployed the facilities surveillance best practices to African region and Germany. In 2010, he became the Global Operations Production Best Practice Advisor in Houston, Texas, covering ExxonMobil worldwide affiliates, and led efforts in sharing oil and gas production best practices, internal benchmarking, self-assessment, global network meetings with short assignments in Sable Island, Canada East. Dr. Kevin Onuchukwu, standing beside me, became the Area Operations Manager West in 2011, where he again led that team that produced 200,000 barrels per day of good oil, 2,240 million standard cubic feet of gas per day, and 25,000 barrels per day of NGL equivalent. In March 2013, he was assigned to Upstream Nigeria Maintenance and Maintenance Institution Manager, where he managed the asset field maintenance team, executing various safety, health, environment, integrity, and reliability tasks across joint venture and deep water operations in mobile producing Nigeria assets. In January 2017, Engineer Onuchukwu was assigned to Nigerian Projects Organization, MPO, as Project Manager and Construction Support Manager, covering deep water and offshore projects, in charge of execution planning for the deep water and offshore activities. Dr. Kevin Onuchukwu has had a brilliant and successful career in mobile producing Nigeria Unlimited that covers over 20 unbroken years in various departments. He holds the principles of professional ethics, integrity, and total quality management. He has always upheld the value and ideas of education for all for the greater Nigeria, as exemplified in the various scholarship schemes he sponsored for the less privileged Nigerians from secondary schools up to university level. I thought you would clap better than that for him. He has served the NSC under several capacities, both at the national, divisional, and branch levels, and was the vice chairman of the local organizing committee for the 2016 NSC National Conference and Annual General Meeting held in New York, Akwa Ibom State in 2016. Engineer Kevin Onuchukwu has had many awards and recognitions for his excellent performance from Mobile Producing Nigeria Leadership and ExxonMobil Producing Company, Houston, Texas. One of the recent ones is the recognition by the Institute of Safety Professionals of Nigeria for his outstanding contributions to humanity and commitment to the development and promotion of occupational health safety practices. This engineer is a member of many professional bodies. I'll mention but a few. Duly registered with CONVOCATION, is a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, a member of the Nigerian Society of Petroleum Engineers, a fellow of the Institute of Safety Professionals of Nigeria. Engineer Onuchukwu is married and is blessed with 4 children. At the end of this program, he will be enlisted as an alumni of the University of New York. Vice-Chancellor, sir, the chairman of the occasion, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome a high flyer, a seasoned engineer of quality, a man of integrity, a community succorer, a national patriot, a great lover and promoter of education for the work of Doctor of Engineering, Honoris Causa of the University of Vice-Chancellor.
By the authority vested in me as Chancellor, and in the name of Senate, I confer on you the degree of Doctor of Engineering, Honoris Causa of the University of Uyo. Congratulations.
The visitor to our university, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I have the permission of the chairman, of the chancellor and chairman of this occasion to alter our programs slightly. Whereas we have to take responses by the honorary graduates at this moment, I have been asked to present to us academic prizes and awards, those who have won same. And because of time factor, we may not be able to do the normal processes of the awardees coming here to take a handshake from the Chancellor. So what we are going to do is, I'm going to announce their names and the prizes that they won and ask them to go to the Director, Academy Affairs for their prizes. And I want to go ahead to present them. 2013-2014 academic year prize winners for the combined 22nd, 23rd convocation. University prize of 30,000 naira, Benjamin Etienne Manawari. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, due to time factor, we would like to take the responses of the honorary degree awardees.
King, mention of that.
Chancellor, sir, it is my privilege to invite Alhaji Muhammadu Indimi, Doctor of Business Administration, Honorary Causa, to give his response.
This occasion, I am extremely humbled by this honor placed on me by this great university. I am very thankful to the University of New York for honoring me and recognizing my modest contributions to the development of the Nigerian oil and gas sector, as well as sustainable community development initiative in the areas of education, community health, and other humanitarian services. I have always felt that my contribution to the Nigerian economy and sustainable community development were modest. However, I felt honored when I realized that the University of Uyo viewed this contribution in a different way. That is why they decided to honor me in public today through the honorary doctorate degree award. In accepting this, I feel greatly privileged to be considered a member of the family of honorary graduate, but more importantly, as an alumnus of the University of New York. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very proud and happy to be an alumnus of the university. This award gives me a fresh impetus to reaffirm my commitment and partnership with the university leadership to make the University of Uyo one of the best in the country. Let me take this opportunity to congratulate my fellow graduates for successfully completing their studies in the university. I say to them, going forward, please endeavor to be good ambassadors of the university. Do not rest on your laurel, strive for excellence. Do your best to contribute to your immediate community and beyond. As a father and a grandparent, I know what it takes to provide for quality education for our children. As such, I must also commend your parents and guardians for the sacrifice they made to support education to this level. Finally, on behalf of my entire family, friends, and business associates, many of whom are here in attendance, I thank the University of Uyo for this award. Thank you all for your attention. Long live Akwa Ibom State, long live Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you, Dr. Alhaji Amadu Idini. Chancellor, sir, it is my privilege to invite Lady Barrister Ime Esien Udom, Doctor of Law, Honorary Causa, to give his brief response.
Be to God Almighty for all the great things He has done for us, for me especially today. I'll thank the University of Uyo, the Senate, and all the great men that run this university for the honor that has been done to me by giving me this award today. It is something I still have not gotten used to because I did not expect it, so I did not plan for it. But gradually, I'm sure when they say doctor, I will turn around. But for now, I don't know it's me they are talking about. On this occasion, I would like to say that all the great things that have been said about me are things that I do not know about. Maybe they know about those things. In my life, I've taken it one day at a time, and that has led me to this day. I would then look at the university and all the great people that have been to say, all the protocols duly observed. I want to say that today has been a great day. The award given me is priceless. It's priceless because it's been given to somebody who does not deserve it. It's priceless because it's something that I would not be able to pay for. But I look at it and the Faculty of Law, which is my area of expertise, the Faculty of Law, which is my area of expertise, always needs assistance. There are so many areas of law that are yet to be developed. Most especially the area that is dearest to my heart, the area of women empowerment, women rights, and especially fundamental human rights of women and children. That is the area that is dear to my heart. And as such, on a day like this, I remember a father I had who has long gone. We grew up to see a whole shelf of law books in our house. And my father was not a lawyer. He was an agriculturist. And we asked him, why do you have a whole shelf of law books? And he said, I wanted to be a lawyer. But I could not find enough money and I did not find a scholarship to pay for my legal training. That is why I became an agriculturist, because then it was free training. In remembrance of that gentleman who made everybody in the house to recognize a law book when we see it, today we have a house filled with lawyers. I would say that if God so permits me to live, I will work with the university to see whether it's possible to endow a chair, a professorial chair, for the study of empowerment of women, fundamental human rights of women and of children, to be called the George Esien Udom Foundation. Thank you very much.
A.G. Kele Onochukwu, Doctor of Engineering Honorary Causa, to give his brief response.
Your Excellencies, the Chancellor, the Pro-Chancellor, the Royal Fathers that came in here, the Vice-Chancellor, the Managing Director of ExxonMobil Nigeria, the State and the Federal Executives, and my friends from the Senate. It is a privilege and honor that I'm here today as one of the awardees of Doctor in Engineering. The journey started more than 20 years ago in Ezomobile, Nigeria, with our focus on safety, health, and environmental excellence. So I want to use this chance and opportunity to thank the Governing Council of the University of Uyo for this honor. My family will continue to support the scholarship awards to the less privileged people in Nigeria and also in Akwa Ibom State. There are so many project opportunities in this University of Uyo, but in line with our safety culture in Ezomobile, I will support a project building a crèche for the University of Uyo for the use of the staff of the University of Uyo. This is the first line of the project that we, including my family members, will embark to support this university. Thank you very much.
Juncture, I have the honor and privilege, most respectfully, to invite the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Mr. Udom Gabriel Emmanuel, here represented by His Excellency, Mr. Moses Sefu, to deliver his goodwill message to the congregation.
His Excellency Amadou Buhari, UCFR, President and Commander-in-Chief, Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and visitor to this university, who is here represented by the Honorable Minister of State for Education. I would like to recognize in absentia the governors of Borno and Gombe states who have been kind enough to be here with us until a moment ago. I recognize the Deputy Governor of Kano State, who also was here, the Emir of Kadeja and Chairman Jigawa State Council of Chiefs, who is also the Chancellor of the University of Uyo, His Royal Majesty Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, the Emir of Kano, Alhaji Muhammad Ibn Mustafa El Kanemi, the Sheikh of Dikwa, His Royal Majesty Idem Eugene Dowubom, paramount ruler, other paramount rulers who are here, the clan heads, the senators and members of the National Assembly. I recognize also the Speaker of the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, the Chief Judge, the head of the civil service in Akwa Ibom, and members of the Akwa Ibom State Executive Council, members of the academia, service commanders, the governing council of the University of Uyo, my lords, spiritual and temporal, the graduates and their parents, family, friends, and well-wishers, and great Nigerian students, especially the students of the University of Uyo, invited guests, members of the Fourth Estate of the Rim, and very distinguished ladies and gentlemen who have graced this occasion. His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Deacon Udom Emmanuel, is unavoidably absent here because he has been away from the state the last 2 days attending to other very pressing national issues. But he's asked me on this occasion to send his very special greetings to the Chancellor of this university and to thank him for being able to come here to conduct this convocation ceremony. He's also asked me to send his very warm regards to the management of the university through the Vice-Chancellor, who he had described as a very energetic young man who is putting new things into the university. He's also asked me to present his goodwill message. And Mr. Chancellor, you permit me to read the message of His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Ekon Udom Emmanuel. I wish to express my happiness for being invited to be part of this grand occasion for the 22nd and 23rd combined convocation ceremonies of the great University of Uyo. I congratulate the university and the graduating students and wish them the best as they go out there to practice what they have learned in the fine year of this academic citadel. I have no doubt that the quality of education you have received here will stand you in good state to compete with your contemporaries and in the process project the foundational tenets and vision of this great institution as its ambassadors. I want to pay special tribute to the Chancellor of the University, His Royal Majesty Emir of Hadejia, Adamu Maji, the Governing Board of the University, the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Lefi Obasien, who was recently conferred with the highest legal recognition as a senior advocate of Nigeria, SAN, the Senate, and the teachers for working assiduously to ensure that this institution ranks as one of the best federal universities in our nation today. We are all proud of your achievements and dedication to this great institution. Education is an essential ingredient in the transformation of any society. I agree with the late South African legend, Nelson Mandela, when he stated that education is the most powerful weapon that can be used to change the world. And we must therefore do all we possibly can to ensure that our children have access to affordable and quality education. This is why the Akwa Ibom State government allocates enormous resources to the education sector to sustain its free education policy and ensure a conducive learning environment for our children. As the new graduates receive their academic laurels today, I challenge our universities, especially the University of Uyo, to be guided by the realities of the 21st century, the technology-driven world. Inasmuch as liberal sciences remain the defining blocks of understanding of the realities of our social relations, we should also begin to tailor our curriculum around the areas of science and technology. The world today is being shaped by ideas, and ideas create wealth, especially when driven by technology. We all know that the world today is driven by information and communication technology, ICT. Institutions of higher learning must therefore place emphasis on ICT development to equip our graduates with the right skills needed for them to compete favorably in the global competitive workplace. The world is changing and our university system must change in line with the current realities of our time. We should graduate students who would look at the world as a vast land of opportunities and think up ideas that can translate into wealth.
People like Mark Zuckerberg, Microsoft, Bill Gates dreamt of the idea of the establishment of Facebook and Microsoft while in college. Michael Dell, who started Dell Computers from the basement of her mother's home in Texas, was driven by an idea to have a personal computer, the PCs, that every home could afford. And late Steve Jobs displayed his nerdy side while in college and eventually ended up giving us possibly the consequential pieces of lifestyle gadgets known to man. And these are the laptops, the iPads, the iPhones, etc., etc. We have so many Zuckerbergs and Michael Dells, the Bill Gates, the Jeff Bezos, and Jerry Yang of Yahoo, scattered all over our Nigerian universities. We should begin a new academic conversation to the effect that while it is wonderful to look forward to building a career in the civil service or other professional lines, we can equally be as successful and even more if we think of ideas and match those ideas with technology and then begin to create wealth. Today, the world celebrates the Silicon Valley in California. There would have been no Silicon Valley without the Great Learning Center that is located between San Jose and San Francisco, the Stanford University. The bulk of the inventions that has made California one of the 50 states in the United States, the 6th largest economy in the world, comes from Stanford University. The University of Uyo, with a strong academic reputation, can become the intellectual ferment for the establishment of our vision of the Silicon Valley. Let me congratulate the graduating students on their educational achievements and attainments. Today, you've been confirmed, certified, and found worthy in character and learning to be admitted into the circle of scholars. I implore you, therefore, to be great ambassadors of your alma mater and let the light of the knowledge you have acquired in this institution brighten your path as you navigate your way around career paths and service in humanity and to humanity. I urge you to strive for the development of an ownership society by thinking outside the box of conventional wisdom. Do not wait for employment. Look for ways you can create employment for yourselves and others. And since globalization has reduced the world into a tiny piece of real estate, try to carve a niche, and in the process carve a tiny piece of this vast piece of real estate and run with it. You have the education, your mind is broadened, your thoughts have been distilled and enlarged. You are technologically aligned. Use these resources and claim the faith of your greatness. You have all it takes to be successful in life. Utilize them and let the race of self-actualization begin today. Once again, congratulations and thank you for your kind attention. God bless you all. Thank you very much.
His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, here represented by the Minister of State for Education to deliver his address.
The Chancellor of the University of Uyo and Chairman of the Convocation, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, represented by the Deputy Governor, the Governor of Borno State and other visiting governors, the Chancellor of the University of Benin,
the Emir of Kano, members of the Council University of Uyo, the Vice-Chancellor University of Uyo, and other visiting Vice-Chancellors, my colleague, the Minister of Aviation, members of Senate and House of Reps of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, members of the State Executive Council, and members of Akwa Ibom House of Assembly, members of the security agencies present here, the Senate and Congregation and Convocation of University of Uyo, staff and students of the university, our traditional rulers, the clergy, the press, ladies and gentlemen. Because we have been stretched to our limits, stay here, I think I want to abridge the president's speech and say that the president commends the University of Uyo for the progress being made, the council and the management for doing very well, particularly with your venture of relocating from your old site to the new site. I see some tremendous work going on, and the president says he congratulates you. The president has equally asked me through his address to charge the university in the areas of research, which will be very essential for our national development, both social and economic, so that more emphasis in university ventures in the areas of research, and that is why there's a lot of funds made available by the federal government for research in the universities. For the young graduating students, the president feels, I should tell you, that you should pay more attention to emulating Nigerians who have demonstrated good character and forget those who are victims of frustrations by working our nation backwards. You should emulate as worthy Nigerians those who have shown efforts in our unity and diversity in this country. You should emulate them, and that you should pay more attention as you leave this place into what you can do for yourself, not really the jobs you can get from the civil service otherwise. That is the summary of the president's address and speech. I don't want to task off anymore. We have had enough of today. And I want to advise the university. The University of Uyo has grown so large that they cannot accommodate what otherwise could be 2 convocations in one. It should be a day for the certificates and the 4th degree convocation, and the second day for conferment of postgraduate degrees and honorary degrees. That's all. God bless you and have a wonderful day. Thank you very much.
Combined 22nd and 23rd convocation of the university closed.
More successes. We ask, as we are departing here, your presence shall continue to be with us. Thank you once again for everything. Blessed be your name. In Jesus' name we have prayed.
The visitors are distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the university and the and gentlemen, recession will be procession in reverse order. So we invite the University Librarian to lead the Chancellor's procession. The University Librarian to
generations through.